I never wanted to go back to Blackmore. 20 years ago, my mother worked as a nurse at Blackmore Asylum, a towering relic buried deep in the mountains, isolated, hidden, and forgotten. I remember the stories she told me as a kid, the screaming at night, the shadows that moved on their own, the patients that swore something lived inside the walls. She never said it directly, but I knew something happened there that broke her. After her death last fall, I found a key hidden inside her Bible. Attached was a tag, Blackmore File Room C. The asylum had been shut down in the 90s. Officially, it was because of funding. Unofficially, people whispered about experiments, about disappearances, about a wing that was locked from the inside and never reopened. I told myself I just wanted closure, to see the place where she spent most of her life. But the truth is, I needed to know what scared her so much that she never spoke of it again. I arrived just before sunset. The gates were rusted open, vines crawling up the stone facade. The windows were shattered and a cold wind echoed through the halls like breath. Blackmore felt wrong, like it was watching me. Inside, it smelled of mold and rust. The silence was suffocating. My footsteps echoed far too loud. I followed the map I found in her belongings. Room C was in the lower wing, the one she never mentioned. As I walked down the crumbling staircase, I passed doors that were sealed shut with chains. Claw marks across the walls, symbols carved into the paint. And then near the end of the hall, I saw it, Room C door ajar. Inside, dust-covered shelves and scattered papers, and a folder left neatly on the desk as if someone had just placed it there. Labeled Subject 12, Project Warden, and beneath that my mother's handwriting. I stepped through the slightly open door, pushing it with my shoulder. The hinges groaned so loudly the sound echoed down the hallway, like the building itself was reacting to my presence. Inside was just as described, torn wallpaper, graffiti scrawled across the walls, the floor littered with shattered glass and rusted medical tools. But the most overwhelming thing was the silence. Not just a lack of sound, but a thick, suffocating quiet that pressed against my ears and crawled under my skin. I turned on my flashlight and moved slowly down the corridor. The patient rooms were all open, each one a mirror of the last. Rusted bed frames, shredded mattresses, old leather straps meant for restraint. Every surface was coated in dust, except for some places where the dust had been disturbed. On the walls, words had been scratched in deep, ragged letters etched with fingernails or worse. I'm still here. He watches. Don't breathe. In one room, a metal chair faced the window as if someone had just been sitting there. I stepped closer and froze. On the dusty armrest was a fresh handprint, but that couldn't be. No one had been here in years, unless someone had never left. Behind me, a dull thud echoed. I spun around, my flashlight cut through the dark hallway, nothing. And then I heard it crying, distant, female, broken. It was coming from below, from the basement, from beneath the hospital. And somehow I already knew there was a staircase at the end of the hall leading down into that darkness. The staircase groaned under my weight as I descended, each step colder than the last. The beam of my flashlight danced across peeling walls and exposed pipes, revealing symbols etched into the concrete, strange, erratic, almost ritualistic. At the bottom was a heavy metal door, half rusted, its hinges sagging. The crying had stopped, replaced now by something worse. Breathing, not mine. It was ragged, labored just on the other side. I reached out, heart pounding in my chest, and pushed the door open. The air was heavier here, damp and metallic, thick with the stench of rot and mold. The flashlight flickered, struggling. Rows of old gurneys lined the room, some still strapped with crumbling restraints. There were files scattered across the floor, patient records, most too water-damaged to read. But one file lay open on a desk, still dry, still intact. Patient 108, no name, no release. Dozens of incidents listed, violent outbursts, hallucinations, drawings of a dark man with needles for fingers. Final note: do not leave him alone, he becomes something else. A cold shiver ran down my spine. As I stepped further in, something moved at the edge of the light. Quick, small, gone. I turned, nothing. But then a door slammed behind me. My flashlight flickered out. Darkness swallowed me whole. Then I heard it. Whispers. Hundreds of them layered atop one another, voices of the lost, the damned, the forgotten. And beneath them all, one voice clearer than the rest, just behind my ear. "You're not supposed to be here." I spun around, flashlight useless, hands shaking as I fumbled for my phone. The screen lit up for just a second, enough to catch a glimpse of a silhouette standing by the far wall. It didn't move. It didn't blink. It just watched. Then the light died. In the pitch black, the air seemed to shift colder, tighter, like something was pressing against my chest. I backed up slowly until my hand found the wall, searching for the door I came through. Gone. No knob, no frame. Just smooth, concrete wall where the door used to be. I wasn't in the same place anymore. I called out, "Hello," but my voice sounded distant, like it had been swallowed by the dark. Then from behind me, dragging, slow, rhythmic, like nails or metal scraping across tile. I turned and ran. I didn't know where I was going. Hallways twisted like a maze, every corridor the same. Old patient rooms gaped open like mouths. Inside, rusted beds, shredded padding, walls smeared with something dark. And in every room, mirrors, cracked, blackened, warped. But when I passed them, I saw things that weren't mine, not my face, not my movements. One mirror showed me standing still while I ran past it. Another showed my face stretched into a scream I hadn't made. I stopped, panting, cold, lost. Then I saw it again. The silhouette, closer now. Needle fingers glinting in the dark. It didn't walk, it glided, I ran. But no matter how fast I moved, the halls only stretched longer, twisting, pulsing, alive. Doors slammed shut behind me. Lights flickered above, revealing glimpses of faces peering through cracks in the walls. Eyeless, smiling. Then silence. Until a voice, hoarse, broken, whispered behind me, "You shouldn't be here." I turned, nothing, but something was there. The air was wrong, thick with the stench of rot and antiseptic. I stumbled into a room, room 413. The number was scrawled in red across the door like it had been clawed into the wood. Inside, the walls pulsed with a heartbeat. The bed in the center still had restraints, and someone or something was in it. A patient gown, gaunt arms, face hidden in shadow. Then it looked at me, its mouth opened too wide. Its jaw cracked as it let out a moan, a sound stitched together from every scream I'd ever heard. My flashlight buzzed violently, then burst. I was trapped in the dark again, and then hands, dozens, burst from the walls and ceiling. Grabbing, clawing, pulling. I kicked, screamed, begged. And then I saw the silhouette one last time right in front of me. It leaned in close, its breath ice in my lungs. "Now you belong here." I don't remember escaping, but I woke up outside hours later, just before sunrise, covered in scratches, my clothes torn, and carved into my forearm crudely, deeply, were the numbers 413. I never went back, but sometimes in mirrors or in dreams, I still see that hallway, that face. And I know that one day, maybe soon, room 413 will call me home for good.